One of the rules of public speaking probably is not to press record when you have your mouth full of chocolate chips. Let me take a sip. Hello, it is No Ums number 73 for October the 14th. No, October the 21st. Good Lord. October the 21st, 2023. It's been a while since my last confession. I just didn't have the time apparently last weekend to do a No Ums video. I think I was holding out for, I'll finally get the Blonde review done and then I'll make the No Ums video, which I think is famous last words. I think I need to just kind of firmly say, no, on Saturdays I'll do a No Ums video, whether I've done something or nothing. And unfortunately, I am at definitely the nothing stage. I guess there's a couple of videos I could have taken as things to listen to myself speaking for this No Ums video, so I would have something to say, but I didn't. Let's start off with the Blonde review. I'm definitely in that holding pattern of I read a book, I go, I'm going to do a review of it. I make a bunch of notes, and then I kind of freeze up. Either I get enthusiastic and I make a review too quickly, or I freeze up for so long that I become in danger of completely forgetting the experience of the book itself and then hurriedly put out a hacky review of what I can vaguely remember of it and going over my old notes and thinking about it, which, to a degree, doing a review colder is not a bad thought, because I think with Blonde, I would have been far more enthusiastic about it right off the bat, and I might still be enthusiastic about it, but I also have doubts and thoughts about it. So I'm going to try and combine the initial enthusiasm and definitely like a good read for myself. It was not a hard book for me to get through. So in that way, but also I'll try and incorporate in my second thoughts about it. And perhaps, or maybe definitely, I will get that done this weekend, even though it's a long weekend, but even though long weekends are notorious times for me not to be able to get anything done. I'll see if I can't make an effort to I'll look at my notes today. I'll look at my notes again today, try and put in some of those second thoughts, try and hone it down into a concise review, because if you don't have much to say, try not to say too much. Try not to go on forever like this No Ums video. Other than that, I have done my vocal exercises through the week. Some days were more trying than others of getting it done, but I did get them done. I reflected last night that my most consistent video is doing a dark video where I do just press record and I just start talking about what's the most pressing thing on my mind for that day. And sometimes that's just a list and going, oh God, I didn't get anything done, and then listing and going, oh, I did some things. There's that, or, troubles at work or things like that. It's not a bad little snapshot portraits of myself day by day. It probably helps that I'm not on camera. I turn the camera the other way into the darkness of my backyard and just talk. So it's an audio diary more than it's anything else. It's funny, I do an audio diary and I have a actual diary that I work on. Same in the both nights. Trying to be present for myself, trying to be present for others, trying not to, it's strangely a way not to live entirely in my own, not be lost at least in my own head, because we all live in our own heads, but it's a way of trying to get things straight, which is what a lot of this videos are. And that's probably why, for me, even if I've kind of put booktube aside as of being a booktuber, there's still the idea of wanting to be somebody who can talk in a clear fashion that another person could understand if they happen to come across the video. But mostly I'm talking to hear myself, to hear what's really going on up here. And in that sense, that's but aside from vocal tics, aside from razzmatazz, aside from everything else, this is an exercise in me trying to be as clear a thinker as possible, and that hopefully bringing a certain level of, if not happiness, peace, um, if not being smart, at least being self-aware. All right, Noam's number 73, done for a Saturday. Hooray. Hopefully I'll talk about Blonde, my experience filming a Blonde review next week.